Good morning. It is May 12th at 12:30 in the PM. Welcome, seventh graders. Today we're going to be talking about your movie creation project, continuing the work we did last week, and kind of elaborating on the different components of your assignment. I realize the assignment's a little bit longer than what we've done in the past, having 5 different components. So I'm not giving you a new assignment this week. Rather, you're expected to have spent part of last week working on your project and then continuing that project this week. We're doing a new project next week, but this week I really just want you to focus on your short film. So, real quick, some accolades I'd like to toss out. I looked at your guys' assignments, what's been turned in so far. A few people did the movie posters already. I saw a good one by Cameron. Tristan had a pretty good one, and so did Norel. Each student used a different technique for making their movie posters. So what I'm going to do is go over what each student did, sort of as an example to the rest of you. So what Norel did was hang on one sec, let me pull it up. Okay, so let's look at Norel's first. What Norel did was he found a picture that he liked online. He pasted that into the Google Draw, and then he wrote the title over top of that using the stencil option provided. So that's one example of what you could do for a movie poster. I know a few people said they weren't sure exactly how to do it. Another example, if you're not interested in doing that, a little bit harder example actually was the one Tristan did. So you can see he spent a lot of time making this. He also used Google Draw, and he used different shapes to create his main character from his story, the scarecrow from his story, a fire, and a tree. And since his story deals with someone being shipwrecked on an island, you can kind of get that vibe from his poster. And again, he used the movie creator, which I gave a link to you for. Now, the one that was actually a little bit more out of the box was Cameron's. What Cameron did was he found a website called Poster Maker, and he used templates on Poster Maker to create his own. Here, I'll zoom in a little bit so it's easier to see it. Maybe I can't zoom in. Never mind, I guess I won't zoom in. But I think I downloaded it earlier and looked at it, but it turned out pretty good. And I was curious about the website, so I went there myself. And this is an option you guys could use as well. If you go into Google and just type in Poster Maker, it will bring you to this website. You have to create an account, but it's free. You can use your Gmail account. That's what I used for mine. And it will bring up different templates that you can use for a movie poster. You can make a whole bunch of different types of posters on this, like invitations, cards. So if you need to make a birthday card or a Father's Day card or a Mother's Day card or whatever in the future, you can use this to make those as well. But what they do is they give you a bunch of different templates that you can use. So if you click on one of the templates that you like, I liked the one that had the Titanic on it. Here as an example. I'll click on that. Now, you won't have your poster looking identical to this. What this is just a template. And when you click on a box, you can change what's there. So if I click on the box where it says Titanic, I could put the name of my movie. So let's say my movie is Space Croc, like space crocodiles, because what's more terrifying than space crocodiles? I can put that inside that box, right? So like Space Croc. And then you can, change the boat, cut that out, add different pictures. You just click on whatever box you're interested in changing something on, and you can delete that, make it bigger, or whatever. You can also insert pictures. So if you wanted a picture, like for mine, if I wanted a picture of a crocodile, I could just paste that in there. Hey, Katana, welcome. I'm just going over a program that Cameron used for his movie poster. It's called Poster Maker, and I'll put an example on the screen. This is the one that Cameron did. It turned out pretty good. He just used a program called Poster Maker, and what it does is it gives you different templates that you can use and change to make a poster pretty quickly. So if you didn't want to draw or do the collage option that I suggested before in the Google Documents, you could use this program to make a movie poster for your assignment. So I was just kind of going over that. You just type in poster maker in a Google search. It will bring you to this website, and you can create a poster on here using one of the templates that they provide. So I'm not sure, Katana, if you did your movie poster yet. I looked at a few people's, and I was kind of reviewing those just now, but I'm not sure if you did one yet. But if you want to use that website, you could do that. You could also do kind of like what? Oh, nice. Good. Cool. Are you going like screenshot it and share it that way, or are you just going to turn it in with your packet when you turn that in? I know there's a delay, so I'll wait for your answer. The delay is kind of weird. But okay, cool. That's good that you guys got your movie posters started and good. And then again, this week, we're not doing a new assignment. We're just going to go over the assignments that are there. The other one that I saw that people started was the storyboard or the graphic organizer. No one so far has done. Okay, that's great, Katana. I look forward to looking at it later on. So your other option for your storyboard, yeah, I got you. Your other option is either doing the plot diagram or the storyboard. No one's done the diagram. A few people have started the storyboard, and the storyboard's going to be on the Pixel site or Pixton site, same as before. I'll log into that as a teacher this time so I can actually look at your guys' assignments. I know a few people suggested that they would use their superhero comic as their movie template. I know Tristan did his... That's weird error. I know Tristan did his storyboard using Pixton. I'm not sure why I can't log into it. I think Hunter was working on it as well. He made a really funny one about me in class, which I shared with the other teachers, and we all shared a laugh about. Maybe I'll pull that up here in a second while I wait for that to load. I think he captured my... yeah. So it's not quite a Hawaiian shirt, but pretty close, like me in class talking, blah, 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 and, you know, no one really looking. So I thought that was really clever. So good job, Hunter, when you get on here later. Okay, so for whatever reason, I can't log into the Pixton site, so we won't look at the examples that people have already done. That's weird, I can't log into that. But anyways, if you want to do your storyboard instead of the graphic organizer, that's fine. I am going to pull up one of the graphic organizers. I know that Ethaniel is using the Pixton site, so we can look at his because I know he's not going to use it since he's doing the other option. This one's kind of, if you don't want to do the storyboard, it's to help you brainstorm. The idea here is you just type in the name of your hero, your villain. Did I do that backwards? Yeah, I did do that backwards. That's crazy. Your villain's the antagonist. I must have been not paying attention when I did that. What did I do wrong there? Okay, so I don't know what's happening there, but I'll fix that. But I think because I'm logged in to look, I can't actually change it right now, but I'll change that later. Your protagonist is the hero. I do not know what I was thinking when I typed that. But yeah, so you just type in like a name for your hero or your protagonist, a name for your villain or your antagonist. If you're using kind of like, I know what Tristan was doing was he was using like a survival on an island situation. So his antagonist probably isn't even a person. It's probably just the situation, the fact that the guy's marooned on this island. So it's more of a man versus nature. So for his name, he could even just put nature or shipwreck or hurricane or something like that. And then for his detail, he would just explain that the character's trying to survive in a hostile environment. I know he also has like a scarecrow character, so maybe his antagonist might actually be the main character's mind, like trying to like keep a grip on reality, since apparently he made a scarecrow and he thinks the scarecrow's talking to him, which I thought was really creative. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. But yeah, just give like you don't have to write a whole bunch for the details. You can just write like a sentence describing your main character and a sentence describing your antagonist. Supporting characters, if you use them. I know you guys are kind of limited trying to make this at home. You probably don't have access to a lot of people. Maybe like brothers, sisters, parents, aunts, uncles, stuff like that. But it's probably going to be harder to get like friends involved to help do the supporting characters. Whereas if we're at school, you would just have access to the other groups. So if you don't use supporting characters, that's okay. Your conflict is just what drives your story. We've talked about this in class before, I know. Without like a problem, there's really not going to be a story. If Shrek, in Shrek, if the fairy tale creatures hadn't been sent to a swamp, there wouldn't have been a story. It would have just been Shrek living his daily life, kind of like miserable every day. But there wouldn't have been a reason for like someone to actually watch. It would be more like reality TV, where you just watch someone's everyday life, and it's, you know, normally boring. And then your theme's the lesson that you want to teach. So if you don't think of the theme as you're writing the story, a theme will still come out. Every story that people tell has a way of developing some sort of lesson to it. So if you started your story, say like in Shrek, you don't know in the beginning what the theme's going to be. It's just about this scary ogre who wants to get all the fairy tale creatures out of his swamp. So he makes an agreement with the Duke, and the Duke agrees if he rescues, I can't remember the princess's name, but if he rescues Fiona, if he rescues Fiona, then he'll take the fairy tale creatures out of his swamp. And then on the course of that adventure, Shrek learns a lesson. So you don't realize what that lesson's going to be in the beginning. So Shrek doesn't realize he's going to learn this lesson about, like, you know, caring for other people and accepting himself as he is. But that develops throughout the course of the story. So he learns to appreciate who he is, and he learns to appreciate other people for who they are as well. And I think all the main characters in the story kind of have like a defect, like the donkey's annoying. Shrek's kind of like this big scary ogre. The Pinocchio lies all the time. The wolf likes to wear women's clothing. So everyone has kind of like some little quirk about them that makes them a little bit different. But by the end, they all kind of like, you know, like one another and have that big dance party at the end. And again, you don't have to do this option. You can instead do the Pixton option. But I guess that website's having a problem because I still can't log into it. But yeah, so your other two things that you guys have, three things actually that you guys have to do besides your movie poster and your storyboard is your script, your soundtrack, and your movie project. The soundtrack, a few people made comments on. I guess they were email comments, but a few people were curious about this. I really liked how Tristan did this. I actually give him extra credit because I thought it was creative. It wasn't what I was thinking. Kashan did more like what I was expecting for someone just to list some songs and then tell me who wrote them. All of his songs were by the same artist, which is fine, but they don't have to be. Because all of his artists, or because of all of his songs were by the same artist, he just wrote the by at the bottom, which is fine. But if you did songs from different people, then you would want to put the name of the song and then the artist right afterwards. But that's fine what he did there. Tristan actually found a playlist online. He found like Sounds of the Beach on YouTube, so he gave me a link to that. And because his story is all about this island shipwreck, guy surviving in this, you know, deserted island, I think he's losing his mind since he's talking to a scarecrow. But that was a good idea too, so I'd be okay with that. So if you can find a playlist online that relates to your story, you can just leave a link like Tristan did, and that's fine too. So too bad Tristan's not here. I wanted to congratulate him for getting so much done. Okay, other thing that you have to do, and this one we probably spend a little bit of time on, is the script. So I saw a few people started typing their script. I can't remember who started typing. I don't want to click on someone's work who isn't done. So I don't think Lena did, so I'll click on hers just because it's blank. So we can use this as an example. Up top, the character list, this is just for your own like benefit. So you don't have to write a big description here, because you would have presumably already done this in the other graphic organizer. So I'm not trying to be, repetitious and make you do the same thing again. I do want you to list the characters' names though, and that will help you as you're making the script. Just to make sure that you give everybody lines who's in your story. And then down here, the script, you just literally write like person A, and then you write what that person says. I misspelled blah somehow. And then, person B, and then what that person says. When we've done Reader's Theaters in the classroom, or even the Anne Frank play, which we did right before the whole virus thing happened, you probably remember like there were parts that were italicized, and those were the actions that were taking place. You can do that also in Reader's Theaters that we've done. That's fine, Katana. You can do everything on paper. That's fine with me. Just turn it in with your your packet when you're done with that. Or if you want to, take a picture of it and then attach it that way, you could do that. I know Cameron attached his movie poster by like taking a picture of it and then snapshotting it to me, which is fine. You could do that also. Either way. And I know you have at least one sibling, so if you want to get Dimitri to like help act in the play, that's fine. Or if you can get your parents or whoever is around the house, I think you have another sibling too. You could get any of your siblings to take part. I think in the past I had students do this, and they did like a giant sloth was the main monster. It's kind of like a King Kong rip, and they just had like a stuffed sloth, and they like would use that, and they would just kind of like cut from like scene to scene. And they were kind of clever. What they did was they got, I guess it was a TV, and they had like an image of a city in front of it, and they would like angle the monster, or the little stuffed animal so that it looked like it was by the screen. And I mean, you could tell it was by a screen, but it was clever. Oh, okay, yeah. So you have access to at least 2 other actors for your thing, if you can bribe them with candy or something, maybe. It's a lot of people. And you don't have to use other people, like just not to keep using Tristan as an example, but I know he's the only person in his, and I think he's going to use something for a Scarecrow. So if you want to do like a one person, that's fine. And you might be able to make your script without a lot of dialogue too. Like if you have a lot of action, like a lot of things happening, you might not need to have like a tremendous amount of dialogue. It just kind of depends on, your story in general. And since I'm not sure exactly what your story is yet, I can't really direct you in any real way. I would say, nice, they know they have to do it. You're the older sister, so that makes sense. It's funny. So once your script's done, which is probably going to be like the meat of your work, then you can start actually filming it. For the filming link on the site, I think I just left the that slide that I went through before. You can see people's complaints about thinking the project was too hard. For this, you can either attach it or you can email it to me. I think email to me is probably the easiest. I think on the movie slides, if you pull it up on the very last slide, it has my work email. Right there. So if you send it to that email, it will go to my work email, and then I'll look at it. And I think, Katana, you might have mentioned too that you might just do a trailer, which is fine. Like because if you were doing like a full-length movie, there's no way you could squeeze it into like 2 to 5 minutes. So if you wanted to like pretend you were making a full-length movie and do a 2 to 5 minute trailer for that, that would be fine as well. Like, I'm cool with that. Everybody must have slept in today, and normally we get more than 2 people. But yeah, and there's also examples on here as well. So if you need like an example of a soundtrack, or I typed a few lines from the WUB Readers Theater, which I'm not sure if I did with your class or not, but that's in there. And then which encompass. Okay, yeah, I thought you had said you were going to do the trailer, which is great. Cool. So you have your movie poster done. The soundtrack shouldn't be too difficult. Make sure you use as much AC/DC as you want. Soundtrack's not really a soundtrack without at least 2 AC/DC songs on it. And then you have the movie poster, so you can do the storyboard or the graphic organizer, whichever one. I just woke up from going back to bed. Yeah, I think this whole quarantine thing's messed up everybody's sleep schedule. People losing track of what day it is and all that. So hopefully this all lightens up pretty soon. I think stuff starts to open back up later this month, so maybe everybody will get back to like a normal schedule. But yeah, so I'm not giving, like I had said, I'm not giving you guys an extra assignment this week. You just have the movie project. Next week we'll do a different project probably. Thursday I will go over. Yeah, that's fine. If you want, because you're going to use your song in the actual story from what you were saying, so that's fine. You might still want to list more. Like if you watched movies before, like every single song on the soundtrack isn't in the movie, like, so I think the example one I gave was like The Crow, which you've probably never seen because it's okay. I'm not sure what you mean. All my sleep schedule. Oh, okay, because your sleep schedule is messed up from summer break. Yeah, there's a delay from when I see something to when I talk, so like kind of make that a little bit weird. But yeah, summer messes up everybody too. But yeah, if you want to do just one song for your soundtrack, that's fine. Which AC/DC song did you pick? TNT? Back in Black? Big Guns? What's another one? For Those About to Rock? I don't know. So I look forward to seeing that. But yeah, just remember, like in, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so for most like movies, all the songs on the soundtrack aren't actually in the movie normally. There's normally like a song in the beginning, at the end, and maybe like little clips throughout, but like they don't normally do the entire song, or even like all the songs normally don't show up. Normally it's like one or two. No AC/DC. How do you make a soundtrack without AC/DC? That's seems ridiculous, but I guess you're film, so you can use whatever music you want. I'm not too familiar with modern bands though, so I probably won't know who it is anyways, unless it came out around 2002 was the last I started listening to new music, I think. But okay, so that's all for the movie project. So, and again, like no additional work's going to be assigned this week because that was 5 things. So I kind of expect that to take up the bulk of your time. I'll go over the, okay. Well, if you're trying to find a song, AC/DC has a lot of them. Just saying. I mean, feel free to borrow some AC/DC. There's actually that one newer movie, one of the Iron Man, I think Iron Man 2. Like, their whole soundtrack's just AC/DC songs, so it's not like they're no longer relevant. I mean, just saying. Like, they still get used, because Iron Man came out relatively recently, I think. But, anyways, I lost track of what I was saying. On Thursday, I'll go over the answers for week 3 of the packet, or week 4. I lost track of which week we're on. Whichever one I'm up to, I'll go over those answers. And then I'll have looked through anything that gets turned in from now to Thursday, and I'll go over those. I was kind of hoping Tristan would show up because I wanted to give him some comments on his, but I've heard of his. Okay, that's fine. I was just joking with the AC/DC thing. You don't have to do that. But I think the Crow soundtrack's actually an awesome soundtrack, and they don't have any AC/DC songs, which is kind of crazy. I think I have some Rage Against the Machine to make up for it, but yeah. And the other example I gave is Armageddon, the Bruce Willis movie. I don't think it has AC/DC there. They have some ZZ Top and Aerosmith, though, so and some Bon Jovi. So they have some good stuff on there to make up for it, I guess. But do you have any other questions? I know our time's running down. Okay. So if you don't have any questions, I guess I'll just let you go a minute early because other than going over movie stuff, that's all we really have to do. I'll be back Thursday, and we'll go over the answers to the packet, and then anything that's, you have a question from now to then, just let me know. So I will talk to you all later. Hopefully, those of you who didn't show up will, watch this in your own time. And I'll make sure to give you credit for having shown up. All right, cool. Take care, Katana. And anyone who watches this later, peace out.